Hello everyone, my name is Guled Mumin and I welcome to my presentation for a benchmark lab 5 challenge your hacking skills. In this session I will walk you through structured penetration testing conducted on Metasploitable2 machine using a variety of tools from Kali Linux. Throughout this presentation I will demonstrate how I planned and executed the assessment, the vulnerabilities I uncovered using tools like Nmap, Nikto, OSAP, and Nexus. And the steps I took to mitigate those risks. This lab not only tested my technical skills but also reinforced the importance of systematic risk assessment and system hardening. Let's go start. Okay, to begin, I established a clearly defined scope where Kali Linux served as the attacking machine and Metasploitable2 was the target. Both are placed on the same internal network to ensure isolated testing, and I selected the key tools for scanning and analysis Nmap for enumeration, Nikto, and OSAP for web vulnerabilities. Nexus for full vulnerability assessment. The process followed standard penetration testing methodology, starting with the reconnaissance, moving to the scanning and exploitation, and ending with a detailed report of finding and recommendation. Penetration testing is essential for proactively identifying and remediate security flaws. It simulates real-world attack scenarios to uncover vulnerabilities that could be exploited by the threat actors. These tests also validate existing security controls and help the organization maintain compliance with a framework like NIST and HIPAA. Ultimately, it is a critical tool for strengthening and the organization risk management effort. Okay, when the procedure fails, whether due to a tool misconfiguration or human error, I responded by truly documenting that went wrong and assessing any immediate impact. It's crucial to communicate transparently with the stakeholders to ensure that the team is aligned. Afterward, I perform a root cause analysis and update the procedure or training materials accordingly. These situations are learning opportunities to strengthen the process and avoid recurrence. Okay, I began with the Nmap scan using a command Nmap, which enabled operating system detection, surface versioning, and scripting scanning. The result revealed several open ports such as a 21 FTP file transfer protocol, 22 SSH, 80 HTTP, and other along with the services detailed like Apache. This gave me foundational understanding of potential attack vector. Nextly, I ran Nikto scan against the web server hosted on the target using a command nikto -h. Nikto flagged the Apache version as outdated and identified misconfiguration like directory listing, test scripting, and missing security errors. These highlighted potential web-based vulnerabilities. Okay, thirdly, I used OSAP. I performed both spider crawl and an active scan of the target web interface. SAP identified multiple issues, including reflecting cross-site scripting, vulnerabilities, insecure cookie setting, and form of lacking CSRF protection. These findings demonstrate common web application weaknesses that attackers frequently exploit. In this slide, I am presenting the result of the Nessus basic network scan performed against Metasploitable2 virtual machine. As shown in the screenshot, Nexus identified several critical vulnerabilities, some with the CVSS score of a 10.0, which represented the highest level of the severity. These vulnerabilities included issues like outdated and misconfigured surfaces, weak SSL configuration, and non-remote code execution exploits. For example, you can see items labeled SSL general, PHP, CGI abuses. Okay, and ETCI vulnerabilities my off, which are exploitable by attackers using well-documented common vulnerabilities exposure. Based on the result from Part B, I performed a gap analysis comparing the current state of the Metasploitable2 with a modern cybersecurity standard. The most critical risk included default credential, outdated and unpatched software, exposed surface on open borders, and web vulnerabilities like a cross-site script. These issues represent a serious risk for exploitation and privilege escalation. To mitigate these vulnerabilities, I proposed disabling insecure surfaces such as the FTP and Telnet. I also recommended updating outdated software like Apache and Samba, replacing default credential with a strong password. Additionally, implementing server-side input validation forms helps preventing injection-based attacks like CSS and CSRV. Okay, with these changes, I expected a notable drop in high-risk vulnerabilities. Disabling unnecessary surface and patching software would reduce the attack surface. I also anticipated better results in the future NSS and SAP scanners, particularly fewer critical common vulnerabilities exposure and fewer web-based alerts. My mitigation strategy focuses on first on the highest impact vulnerabilities that pose immediate risk. All changes were implemented in the test environment to avoid disrupting system stability. I used post-change scanner to verify effectiveness and documented each fix to maintain transparency and compliance. The implementation of these countermeasures significantly hardened the system by the removing low-hanging vulnerabilities and aligning with establishing security framework. Surfaces commonly used in attacks were shut down, passwords were secure, and web protection were added. This approach not only reduces the risk but also builds long-term resilience against future threats. Okay, for this phase, I logged into Metasploitable2 virtual machine locally using the default credential MSF admin, and also the password is going to be MSF admin. The first step was to disable insecure surfaces like FTP and Telnet using the following command: sudo surface vstpt stop. Also, I'm gonna type the Kali Linux terminal sudo surface telnet stop. So you can able to stop those two surfaces in your machine. Next, I changed the default password to strong one using pass wd command, which significantly improves authentication security. Finally, I navigated to var www and removed vulnerable test scripts such as testy.php and phpinformation.php, which could otherwise be used to expose the system information or serve as a backdoor. Okay, the implementing changes addresses key vulnerabilities identified in earlier scans. Changing the default credential mitigated weak authentication, disabling file transfer protocol, and telnet removed two surfaces commonly exploited for unauthorized access. Additionally, removing the test script from the web server reduces the risk of attackers gaining insight into the system configuration or using those scripts as a pivot point. The actual result is closely aligned with the expectation post-exchange. Scanning showed a drop in a critical vulnerabilities. OSAP no longer detected exposed script, and Nessus removed FTP and Telnet related common vulnerability exposure. However, a few medium risky vulnerabilities remained, such as the SSL and misconfiguration legacy protocols that require deeper system updates to fix. This exercise reinforces how even simple configuration changes can significantly improve security. It is also highlighted the importance of not relying on a default setting, which often create easily exploitable weakness. Finally, the process of emphasizing the need for continuous monitoring and clear documentation to track the effectiveness of the remediation efforts and plan future improvement. Okay, conclusion. Throughout this process, I was able to plan and execute a full security assessment, identifying critical vulnerabilities, and implementing strategic mitigation measures to harden the system. This hands-on experience reinforced the importance of proactive security, structured testing methodology, and ongoing risk analysis. Thank you for your taking a time to watch, and I will be happy to answer any questions you might have regarding the tools that I used, finding, discovered, or the security strategies that I applied. And have a good day.